Welcome to Housing for Good, a podcast dedicated to housing topics and issues affecting our communities in McPherson County and beyond. With years of experience and expertise, hosts Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore discuss housing challenges and opportunities with other experts from a variety of housing fields.
Good afternoon and welcome to Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
Okay, so Chris, earlier this week I told you about an article that I read that was very interesting, and it goes right along with today's subject for our podcast.
Okay, so tell us about it.
So we have Northgate Manor. Natalie is their manager. Mm-hmm. She's going to join us today.
Yeah.
This article said that by 2030, they are anticipating the senior population doubling, homeless senior population doubling.
Oh, that's scary.
It's extremely scary because we're talking people that are 62 and older.
Right. And they have high needs typically.
High needs,
so we're not
limited
talking
income.
Right, health problems. Yes.
So this was saying nationwide, there's 5 million people, 65 and older, living below the poverty line. 2.35 million of them are paying more than half of their limited income on the rent. And the number of homeless individuals on a given night last year was 138,098. That just breaks my heart. But then I stop and I go, okay, wait a minute. These are really big numbers. What does this look like for McPherson? Not the county, just the city of McPherson. So the 2022 census for McPherson was 13,865. 4.1% of our seniors in that population live in the poverty level. That is 568 seniors.
Wow, that's a big number. I was also reading somewhere the other day that when they put supports in place for food and rent and those type of things, it actually brings those seniors back up so they can afford to be able to stay in their home.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really important that we keep those supports there for food and utility assistance and all of that.
Yeah.
So that we keep those families and those seniors from being homeless. It's really frightening to me. I mean, think about your own parents, let alone ourselves. Think about our own parents being out on the street with the illnesses that they have and the different things that they have. How scary is that? I see people right now. So I live close to Main Street, off on a subdivision, and I saw a guy I see him every once in a while. He has a walker, and he's literally walking like quite a distance to get to Dillon's. And I'm like, is this the only way that this person can get to the grocery store?
Yeah.
And a couple times I'm like, man, do I stop and ask him? And I mean, because I'm really starting to pay attention to these seniors. But I'm seeing more and more seniors struggling to get to the store with walkers and canes and all kinds of things. And I'm like, man, if I had the money, I'd go buy a scooter for all of them.
Yeah.
So they could get back and forth. It is
the lucky ones have a scooter.
Yeah, my dad always had a scooter.
Yeah.
So we were always lucky with him. And plus, we always took him where he needed to go. But if you don't have those kids who can help you, man, that is just what a predicament.
So I'm really looking forward to our conversation with Natalie
me
a little
too.
bit. What do you have for news?
Okay, well, we have a little bit of news, so we wanted to give you some information. A lot of times people will say, hey, what do you do? What's going on?
Yeah.
And so we don't always keep them up to date. Like, for instance, the Sutherland Estates, Karolyn. What are we seeing there with construction with those permanent supportive housing?
Well, I just spoke with Arlo this morning.
And that is our contractor.
Our contractor. Mm-hmm. He said that they are pretty much done with the first 3.
Oh, that's exciting.
So now they'll put their focus onto the remaining 4. Mm-hmm. The next 3 are way further along than our 7th one. Okay. But, I think when we started this, we thought late spring, early summer. Somewhere in that ballpark is kind of where our vision has been as far as when we'll be able to start providing services. And if you've been by there, there's sidewalks being put in. Yeah. There's a parking lot. So, that's just little signs that it's coming along.
We're coming along. And so here's my other question, and I get this a lot when I'm out. The Oak Harbor cottages, are they full? What's going on there? What does that look like?
Sherry has been interviewing people, and I think that at this point in time, from what I understand, we're full.
Okay, we are full.
Yeah.
People are surprised when I tell them we're full.
People are surprised.
They're always full because they're like, well, maybe you'll have a couple families. No, they're full. Yeah. And not just with families. We actually have seniors. We've had seniors in those cottages because they're homeless just like anybody else. So we've helped them as well. They're a little easier, actually. That population is a little easier to work with because, usually we can find a place for them that doesn't, that's affordable for them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to run some numbers by as well. So far, from January until today, we've had 284 people volunteer to help McPherson Housing Coalition. So if you're interested in volunteering, let us know. We have lawn mowing, we have snow removal, you can clean a cottage for us, you could collect food, anything that you might want to do to help our organization, we would really appreciate it. And then to go along with that number, we've helped 366 people so far this year in our programs, which is pretty amazing, really, that we've been able to be able to do that. And then a couple dates that I have is Brush Up Mac 2025. So that's April 19th, 2025. Get your teams together. And our 5th annual housing conference will be September 25th, 2025. So that's my news really for today, except we do have social media, so please tune into our social media.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get to our guest.
Yes, let's get to our guest.
So Natalie Cornett is with us from Northgate Manor. Natalie, introduce yourself and tell us about the organization.
Again, like you said, my name is Natalie Cornett. I'm with Northgate Manor Apartments. We are a senior community for ages 62 and better, and we are low income, income-based.
So what does that mean when you say income-based? What do you look at? Because people get really confused. Income qualified, income-based. There's a difference.
So income-based is more of a lower income. There's a cap, but...
Okay.
Is the rent then based on how much money they have, or is there a set amount for each unit?
It's based on their income, so how much they get, usually Social Security every month.
So is there, can somebody pay zero?
Yes, if they have no income.
There is a zero?
Yes.
And then what's the highest that you've ever seen that somebody paid?
Right now, our market rent is $725.
Okay.
It is going up December 1st to $784, I believe.
Okay.
Okay. And how many units do you have in your development?
We have 60.
60.
That's
okay.
big.
And are they all like a triplex?
They are. They're triplexes in a circle, so there's six apartments in one circle.
Okay. My
circles.
mother-in-law lived at Northgate for a while when she moved here after Carrie's dad died. Mm-hmm. So she lived there, and I always loved that because she could go out on her porch, and for the most part, you see some of the people that are living by you because they're on their porches as well. Mm-hmm. And, the sidewalks are taken care of and the lawn is mowed and she didn't have to deal with any of that.
And don't you have a clubhouse? Is there a clubhouse?
We do have a clubhouse, and we have different things like bingo and cards, dominoes.
So there's an activity enrichment for them as well.
Yes.
Well, and I even remember her talking about there'd be a potluck.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she would get excited because she would be able to fix something for more than just herself and take it down, and they would eat together and, have a time of community. So what are the guidelines for somebody to live at Northgate Manor? You mentioned elderly housing.
Yes, so you have to be 62 or better, and then you have to be low income.
And what if they have health situations? Are there pull? Sometimes, you see the
Like grab
pull
bars
cord.
or...
If they're in the bathroom and there's a problem, they have a cord they can pull. Do you have that kind of setup?
Yes, we do. There is a pull cord in the bathroom and in the bedroom, and what it does is ring the other apartments that are connected to them, and then they are to call 911 for that person.
Oh, that's
Same thing if they hear it go off,
wow.
then
I
they
would have
call
never.
911.
I never would have thought of that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you have an office on site.
Yes,
And then when is that open?
from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh, okay, that's a good time frame if
Yeah.
somebody needs to see the apartments or needs some assistance.
And so we've already talked about, we see seniors with scooters or a walker. Mm-hmm. Do all of the folks that live at Northgate have vehicles?
They do not. I'd say probably maybe half of them have vehicles, and the other ones they either have to rely on their walkers to get to Dillon's, or some of them have scooters, are lucky enough to have scooters, or if they have family members or friends.
And do you guys have any kind of transportation provided for the folks that live there, like a van or anything like that?
We do not, but we have a lot of people that use the senior service
Yes.
or the senior center van.
Okay.
So that's a really important resource for the people that are in your
Yes.
complex.
Well, and your location is awesome.
And then Meals on Wheels, do they come? Do you have a lot of Meals on Wheels?
We do have a lot of Meals on Wheels.
So there's a lot of connection here, providing services for the people that are living in your complex.
Yes.
Lots of connection. That's the thing that people don't realize is that it really takes connection to make any of this kind of stuff work. We have to work together.
Yes, and their location is nice because you've got Dillon's, you've got Dollar General.
Yeah.
They are within walking distance or within distance that you could take your scooter if that's what you had to do. Okay, what are your policies about pets? Can these folks that live there have a pet?
They can. We do allow one pet under 20 pounds.
Okay.
Okay, that's awesome. You know, people get really attached to their pets. So I have some. I love them. That we find when we're trying to get people housed, that's a big thing. You know, they want to be able to have that pet with them, and we understand that.
Another service that we offer is we have a service coordinator there, and she can help with anything they have questions with Social Security, Medicare. They need to try and get signed up for Medicaid. They need to get signed up for Meals on Wheels. Her job is basically to keep them in their home as long as possible.
That is so important. That's what our Brush Up Mac program does. It's so important for our seniors. So the Council on Aging, I'm guessing you're connected pretty well with them.
Yes.
And then they are able to provide additional services as well.
Yes.
Again, connections.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know for us here at the Housing Coalition, we have been noticing the number of phone calls we get from seniors asking for help or inquiring about where to go for help has really gone up over the last year. I've been here 4 years, and when I first started, it was all young people with kids. But I've watched that number of seniors, those phone calls come in. Are you finding more people applying to Northgate Manor for housing, and do you have a waiting list right now?
Currently, I do not have a waiting list. I do have 2 openings available.
Okay.
And that is something very rare. I've been there 7 years, and we're usually stay at 100%. There usually is a waiting list, and sometimes it is hard for them to get in. So
okay.
What other issues are you seeing with seniors? Is there something that you feel like in our community that's missing?
They use the help with like the food services and the food bank and things like that. I know a lot of them use that.
Really? So food insecurity sounds like it's another big issue for our seniors.
Yes.
Do you see that sometimes maybe they have to choose between food and medicine and housing? Are you seeing that at all, or is that something you would even know about?
I think a lot of them, they can't buy the food that they want to because they have to pay for their medications or, housing or things like that. So having the food bank is a benefit for them.
Okay, that gives me another question. Do you take into consideration what their income is minus medical expenses? Are there any medical expenses or any other expenses that would deduct from their income that would impact their rent?
Yes, we do have where a certain percentage of anything paid out of pocket medically, that would be like doctor's appointments, prescriptions, chiropractor, anything like that. If they pay it out of pocket,
even
we can use
chiropractor.
Yeah, we can use a % of that and take it off their rent. And also, if they have an assistance animal, anything that they buy for that animal, we can use as a medical expense.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is great. Yeah. So what are we missing? Are we missing anything else that you want to talk about? Maybe we forgot something, or I always ask people, if you had tons of money, what would you do with it for your project?
I would really like, one thing we have is we do have a laundry facility on site at the clubhouse. However, sometimes for seniors, it's hard to get to the laundry room. So it'd be nice if we had at least hookups in our apartments.
In each of your apartment. Would there be room for that?
We would have to make room somehow.
The fact they have stacking washers and dryers.
Yes.
Now, as opposed to years ago, that helps change the component of what that could look like.
Yes.
What about, do folks struggle to even have the quarters for laundry?
Some of them, yeah, they do. It can be hard to do their laundry because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So is there a way, let's say somebody wants to donate toward a senior, or is there any way that you can do that? Is there a nonprofit, or is there anything to connect to them, like to help pay for food for somebody, or have a food pantry on site, or, is any of that even a possibility?
We do have a thing in our clubhouse, our laundry room. It's for free items that the residents share if they have an abundance of food. Then they put it in the laundry room, and then it's all free. So if they need something, they can take it and share it.
So that's your unofficial food pantry, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Now, another question that's come to my mind is, do you accept the help of volunteers? Have you ever had anybody say, hey, my group would love to volunteer at Northgate Manor. What can we do?
I have not had that before.
I mean, maybe a senior needs a little bit of help around their house and they can't vacuum, or I don't know what, I've never been in one, but what would that look like for them if maybe somebody wanted to just go visit them and hang out? And, you know, because being a senior sometimes can be really lonely. I think that's one of the things that really can affect them emotionally. And so maybe somebody wants to volunteer and sit with a senior, or clean their house, or I mean, I could think of maybe plant some flowers around the outside, or having a pot of flowers, something.
Or go to the grocery store for them,
or go to the store for them.
To carry them in, things like that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be, especially if they don't have family members around who are willing and able to help.
Right.
Okay, I just had another idea.
Okay, what is it?
Okay. What if we extend our Brush Up Mac application to the folks at Natalie's housing development to say, hey, is there something that you could use a volunteer on this Saturday to help you with?
Yeah.
It's a little different than owning your own home because they don't need yard care.
Or repair, maintenance, none of that.
Right.
But if there was something on a Saturday morning where we had people that would be willing to come in and help these older folks in our community with something in their house.
Yeah.
I think of a year ago, we had some women, their whole job was they wanted to go into homes and clean windows for homeowners. They wanted to, that was what they wanted to do. And so we sent them to a couple houses where they cleaned every window in the house, inside and out. And it's like, okay, when you're done there, can you come to my house?
I know, right?
But, okay, I would love that, Natalie. I'll send you that application. We're getting really close to being able to have it on our website where a person could either print it off or fill it out and submit it. But I'll make sure that I send one to you. And if you could just kind of pass the word among your residents, I think we would love to try to extend what we do on that Saturday for people that are interested in helping in that way.
That would be great.
That would be all. I love that idea too. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any other questions. Do you?
I don't either. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay.
Well, we'd love
having
having
you. It's a great place to live for our seniors, and very thankful that we have that.
Yeah, so are we.
We are very blessed as a community to have our senior housing. Okay, well, that's going to be it for our show today. You know, you can always leave us a review or comment at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org. Please listen in a couple of weeks. This podcast will be released, and you'll get to hear Natalie speak and hear about our senior population.
See you later.
Bye.